Hello and welcome to my Stamina Warden PvP build. With this build, I wanted to give you some kind of base to build your own Warden, and you can change the build whatever situation you're in or whatever type of group composition you're in. So this is more like a general video where you can base your shit on, but I will also provide you a build that is suitable for every kind of PvP you can engage here. So, quick look into the character screen. We are Orc. I think Orc is one of the best races for Warden. You have alternatives of being Imperial, Nord, Khajiit works. Usually every type of race works. There are some races that work better. For me, Orc is the best. Whatever you think is the best actually works. Just play how you want, right? We have all points and health. We are using Polar Wind as our burst heal, so the higher health we are, the better it is. If you are not comfortable with this low amount of stamina, you can of course put some more points into stamina and less in health. I wouldn't go below 35k health with minor toughness. So with minor toughness here we are sitting at 42k HP, and change your attributes that you don't drop below 35k. So Polar Wind will still be really strong here. The wonders we are running at the Warrior. I think last patch or the patch before, Vigor got a small nerf, and that's why I'm pushing my weapon damage higher, so I can push also my healing and increasing the tankiness in that way. You can also use a Shadow Warrior, Shadow Mundus, if you want more crit damage, which could resolve in more burst, or you can use Serpent Mundus if you struggle with stamina sustain. We have stage 3 Vampire for the well-known Undeath passive, which is this one. Increases your damage mitigation up to 30% based on your missing health. This is a really strong passive, right? It makes you super tanky when you're low HP and in execute phase. You can play without it if you really don't want to be a vampire, but I highly recommend using it because it's just super strong. Buff food we are using is Osaka Smoked Beer Haunch. We need every region from it and also the maximum health. So we get maximum health, we get health region, which isn't really important because it's close to none in PvP anyway, but we need the Magicka and Stamina recovery for all of our skills. Potions, just the normal tri-stats, which gives us health, stamina and Magicka. Also the major regions, which is major intellect and major endurance, increasing stamina and Magicka region by 30%. Alternatives would be the minor heroism potions, which gives Magicka and stamina, the most important thing, and minor heroism increasing your ult generation. So if you have shit tons of money, you use those. Otherwise, normal tripods also work. Poisons, especially for open world PvP, I prefer Escapist Poison. The moment this poison procs, and it usually procs a lot because with this low amount of maximum stamina, you do have to use a lot of heavy attacks on your back bar. So I would recommend using those. When it procs, you get 4.4 seconds of CC immunity, so you can't get stunned during that time. And the target which it procs also gets immobilized. Alright, coming to the armor sets. Monster sets, one of the strongest for Warden. I think it's still Barlog. We are running 2 heavy pieces in the Divine trait with the Prismatic Enchant. Barlog in general gives us a lot of damage when you actually hit your ultimate. and helps you just with bursting your target down. Alternatives, for example, if you want to go dueling, you can still use Warlock, it's still strong, but one of the most busted sets for dueling, obviously, Zan. So this is just some super carry in a duel, can use this instead. This is the monster set. The front bar set we are running is Stuhn's Favor. It gives us weapon damage, offensive penetration and weapon damage, and when we set someone off balance, or more like when we deal damage to an enemy who's off balance, and we are using Dizzy Swing as our main spammable, we set everyone off balance with this. We get 5300 penetration for 10 seconds. Those amount of penetration equals around 10% damage increase, and it has a really high uptime. Even against only one target, the uptime is really high, and it's super easy to proc, right? It's one of the best front bar sets you can use on the Dizzy build. So Stuhn here is one of my favorite choices to pick. And also, it gets even stronger if you play in a group. When you have like 2 Wardens using Dizzy Swing, you have more people being off balance, resulting in a higher Stuhn uptime. So we're running the sharpened Battle Axe. Battle Axe because it gives 12% crit damage, and I think that's stronger than having a Maul. But if you want more consistent damage, you can go with the 2H Maul, also in sharpened. The Stuhn we are running also on the boots, on the legs and on the hands. Hands are medium, legs and boots are both heavy, also in the divine trait with the prismatic enchant on it. And that's about it. The mythic we are using is the Sea Serpent Coil. While we are at full HP, we gain 40% damage reduction. So basically everything that hits us, for example a gank or something, has 40% damage mitigation on the first hit, which is nice. But when we take damage, we also gain Serpent's Rebuke for 10 seconds. We get a snare of 40%, which is annoying. But we also get Major Berserk, increasing all of our damage done by 10%, and we also get Major Courage, giving us 430 weapon and spell damage, really strong damage buff. And the snare you can work around with by using your wings as speed, or sprinting. Also Orc helps, because you have the sprint speed passive. That's about the mythic. Now coming to the back bar. At the moment here on my back bar, I'm running Rallying Cry. Rallying Cry offers you good amount of damage by the 300 weapon spell damage you proc while you critical heal yourself, and Battle Spirit is active. And on top you get 1650 critical resistance. This in general is super strong because it makes it super tanky. This crit resist is one of the things you want to have in PvP. You always want to have some sort of Rallying Cry, either in your group or on yourself, because it's so strong. Yeah, that's Rallying Cry here. If you have more people in group, the weapon damage and the critical resistance get reduced, but it's still strong even in a 12-man group. So we are running Sturdy Shield with the maximum stamina enchant. Defending Sword here, but can also be powered if you like. I prefer defending nowadays. Then we have 2 times Jewelry and infused with weapon damage enchant. And a Light Sash and Divines with the prismatic enchant. This is your best choice for a backbar set. Now, when you want to play in a group, maybe with another Warden, and he also has a Rallying Cry, it doesn't stack in group, so you want to have an alternative. And the alternatives for backbar depending on the situation and group composition, is Powerful Assault as the number 2 choice, Phoenix Moth at the number 3 choice, and then it kinda depends what you prefer. If you already have all those 3 sets in group and you have to pick another set, you can go Ascent Thief, Clever Alchemist, Mara's Bomb, even 7th Legion is nice. So all those sets work on your back bar. And you kinda can set it up exactly, so you only have to swap out a few pieces and you're already on the new setup. Some people don't like Sea Serpent's Coil because of the snare or just don't have access to it. Alternatives for Sea Serpent's Coil are, number 1 would be, my personal choice would be Death Dealer's Feet, giving you huge amount of HP, stamina and magicka. So by this you can either still be full on prismatic enchants, or you can, to increase your damage even further, go full stamina enchant on your body when you have Sea Serpent's Coil, Death Dealer's Feet, I'm sorry. So you have actually a huge stamina pool, increasing your healing and damage, while still maintaining decent amount of health and magicka pool, because Death Dealer's Feet gives you so much. Just personal choice, you can still be on full prismatic and have just a massive chunk of HP. The other alternative would be Ring of Magistry, the Marken Ring, 200 weapon and spell damage and some armor. Just a solid choice, obviously still works. This is kinda about the sets I'm using and swapping to depending on the situation. Coming to our skills now. Front bar, the main spammable is still Dizzy Swing. I heard some people play without Dizzy Swing, they say Dizzy Swing doesn't kill anything anymore. I have no problems with Dizzy Swing, it still hits super hard, it gives you the off balance, it procs dooms, you have the 2H passives on it, and just in general I still like Dizzy Swing over every other spammable that a Warden has access to. Then we have the Executioner, just when your target low HP, obviously Executioner will hit harder than your Dizzy Swing. So you use Executioner usually when your target is about 20-25% or lower. Then we have Deep Fissure, just a no-brainer for Warden. You have a delayed burst after the first 3 seconds and another 6 seconds, so in general after 9 seconds the second damage hits, and this usually hits harder than the first one. So if you want to burst someone, you hit him with the first damage after the 3 seconds to apply the minor breach, and then you prepare your burst to exactly hit on the second hit, because this is much stronger. As you can see in the tooltip, it's like 2.5k more than the first hit. And obviously the afflicted major and minor breach to your target, which is about 9k penetration, is just mega. It's mega. The next skill here is Bird of Prey, in general one of the iconic Warden skills. When you use it, you get Major Expedition for 6 seconds for movement speed. This is also really nice if you have coil and to get you out of hot situations. You use Bird of Prey and you can sprint into a line of sight. Also, when you use it, you gain immunity to snares and immobilization. This is kind of new to the skill and it's just mega, so you can just pass through it. When you have it slotted on your front bar, you also gain minor berserk, increasing your damage done by 5%, just by slotting it on your front bar, obviously for the increased damage. And passively you also get 4% critical damage done per animal companion skill slotted, so we have 2 here and it's 8%. Next skill we are using here is Leeching Vines. Leeching Vines is a heal over time when you have it on you you take damage, you get healed every 1 second, more like with the cooldown of 1 second. And every enemy that attacks you, you apply minor lifesteal to, and when they have minor lifesteal on them and you damage that enemy, you get a small heal. This is great. And actually it's a lot of healing per second. Dawnbreaker of Smiting here is our ultimate. If you time it with the second hit of Deep Fissure, you have a huge amount of AoE burst. Alternative would be Northern Storm if you want more like a pressure ultimate. Works as well. Backbar, we are running Bullnage as our source of major brutality. Also we restore shit tons of stamina over the duration, and every 5 seconds one negative effect is removed. Also you can spam it, like use it always, like spam it, and every cast will remove one negative effect. Then we have Lotus Blossom as our source of major prophecy and major savagery, which is roughly, I think, 12% increased crit chance. Mega skill. Also, each light attack heals you for a small amount, and each heavy attack heals you for a bigger amount. Or an ally. And the duration is 1 minute, so it's really nice to sustain. You can also use the other morph, which has only a 20 seconds duration, but gives you a little bit more healing. Also you heal more targets. Now our bread and butter skill, which is Polar Wind, scales of our max HP, and when we use it we get a big burst heal, and for 10 seconds a heal over time that ticks every 2 seconds. We also hit one ally, and the ally hit with the burst heal also get the healing over time. Super strong skill. Resolving Vigor, healing over time, also one of the core skills of literally every build, be it Magicka, Hybrid or Stamina. Resolving Vigor is always on it. Strong healing over time, and you also gain minor resolve, increasing your resistance by 3k for 20 seconds. Armor buff here, Ice Fortress, major resolve, we get 6k armor and also gain minor protection, just 5% damage reduction. Defensive ult is here, Healing Thicket. I really like it since it also looks nice, gives some strong healing, and you can also heal your allies. Another alternative would be Spell Wall here, or you can also go with 2 offensive ult and slot Northern Storm on your backbar. Coming to the champion points. For blue ones I usually go 2 defensive and 2 offensive. So we have Ironclad, Focused Mending, Mastered Arms, and Exploiter. Red ones, Pain's Refuge, Sustained by Suffering, Survival Instincts, and Relentlessness. Yeah, that's about the build. You can change it however you prefer. Just some base sets to use and adjust to your personal needs. So far this setup is really working fine for me, especially the Rallying Cry backbar. It works in Battlegrounds, it works in solo play, it works in group play, it even works in duels. So in general, just an all-round good set, which can be adjusted to the group needs. Yeah. That's it, enjoy the build and see you in the next video.